This is Fabio with Fabio Verdigris Vintage Finishes, Anislon brand ambassador and Anislon Italia social media lead. I have recently posted a couple of pictures of Corbel that I recently did in Verdigris technique using a technique that Jonathan Mark Mendes has developed. And I customized it a little bit. And so I wanted to share with you how I did it. And you can find all the details on Jonathan's video, and it's a very extensive video, probably 45 minutes long. I'm going to do it very quickly, and I'm going to tell you about how I slightly customize that technique, and then you decide whether, how you want to reuse it for yourselves. So the Corbel that I was talking about is this one that you probably remember online, and it's a wooden Corbel that you can get online, Home Depot, Lowe's, believe it or not, and or some other places. But you can also choose Corbels in resin, which are generally a little less expensive. They're also less, appealing, but they are less expensive for trying it out. So here are the steps. The first step I followed is essentially to prime it. And I wanted a very dark base, like simulating a darker wood. So I combined 2/3 of Enfleur and 1/3 of graphite, just to prime it. Then I repeated the same step with the same colors, but added some, texture additive. I use salt wash, but you actually don't even have to do that. You can just let the paint dry, and Annie's paint is so thick that it will create texture automatically. And so here you can see the texture. You decide how much you want and how far you want to go. And this will obviously give you a lot of depth to play with. Once that is dry, then the trick is to use one of these baking pans, right? And because we're going to use water, so you create 4 washes. I did Amsterdam Green, Provence, Ducat Blue, and Florence, and then you decide how you combine them. You put your Corbel in that pan because you're going to spritz it with water and let it flow so that you create that effect of the water over the copper or the bronze that generates this cool effect. You need to play around with those colors and decide which ones appeal to you most. So you distribute them and then spritz them. And if you have too much, you spritz more. If you have too little, you add more. I, for instance, put more Florence toward the bottom here and more Provence on the top. And then I'm Green in some strategic locations. I didn't use a lot of Ducat Blue because I wanted to have it more on a darker tone, but obviously that's your decision. And so once you get where you want, then all you have to do is let it dry or use a dryer to speed up the process, and then some clear wax and probably some black wax or dark wax to create some depth. And then you're done. So it's very simple, and it can create a very appealing effect. You can use it on any surface. Jonathan uses on a vase in his video. I like Corbels a lot, and so I used it on this. I actually have a grid in my 3rd floor, which is an old grid from the Victorian heater, which doesn't look appealing at all. I think I'm gonna do the same thing on that. So I hope this was helpful, and feel free to send me questions, and let me know if this is helpful and we can do more of this. Thank you.